Have you ever had a moment that felt so vivid, so real, that you knew you would never give it back? The glimpse of a laughing child, the taste of a perfect coffee, the silence shared with your loved one. These moments flash by and become memories etched into who we are. But what if I told you that for every moment you do experience, there are infinite others you don't? What if the solid reality you see is just one channel and you have the remote control to change it? Dear seekers, welcome back to the Edgy Talk Show. I'm Aditi, and today we are diving into a mind-bending idea that parallel realities aren't just science fiction. They are a consequence of how we perceive, and the key to unlocking them lies in the fluidity of our own identity. Before we begin, I offer my obeisance to the divine in you. Let's start with a simple but profound model. Think of the raw stuff of the universe as vast, infinite ocean of waves, pure potential and possibility. This is the quantum field. Now, our perception, our five senses, and our brain acts like a sculptor. It takes these waves of potential from the universe and carves them out into solid, definite things that we perceive and experience in our 3D world. Be it a tree, a chair, your pet, a sound of a car horn, anything that you perceive around you. In a sense, we are constantly converting waves into particles to build our 3D identity. But here's the catch. The moment we have that particle of experience we think about, we process it. We attach stories and emotions to it. And this exact processing of that experience sends out a new wave, a new vibration. Maybe you're feeling joyful, anxious, curious. That vibration, it determines then the next set of experience you will pluck from the infinite wave of potential that exists in the universe. And it's a loop. Our beliefs shape our vibration. Our brain, our beliefs, our past experiences, and our cultural conditioning act as a tuning fork that vibrates at specific frequency, locking us into a single channel of experience. This is the restraint that I'm talking about. It's, of course, ego's job to maintain a consistent, stable identity and a coherent narrative of our realities. This creates a loop. I believe I am X. My vibration aligns with something. I perceive evidence that confirms I am X. Then the belief gets reinforced. This loop is, of course, necessary for survival, but it becomes a cage of perception, filtering out the vast possibilities that exist as form of fractals which may not match with our self-concept. Now, this is where it gets fascinating. If our perception is a filter, then by definition, it's filtering something out. All those other potentialities, all those other ways the moment could have unfolded, all the other yous that could have existed in slightly different circumstances. They don't vanish, they remain as uncollapsed wave functions. Like fractals, infinite in their complexity, but absolutely unseen out of the board of experience. We usually do not experience them because we are stuck in a solid identity. This rigid sense of self is like a radio locked onto one station. But what if we could introduce some fluidity? What if, instead of being a solid fixed particle of a self, we could learn to become more like a wave, freely flowing? This isn't about being flaky, it's about conscious expansion. When you loosen the grip on your fixed identity, you become open to experiencing the parallel realities. Not necessarily as full-blown alternate dimension, but it can appear as intuition, a sudden knowing from nowhere, or as synchronicity, those meaningful coincidences that feel like the universe is winking at you. It can also appear as the profound creativity in dreams, where the normal rules of the 3D world never apply. The only way to make sense out of the change is, of course, to plunge into it, move with it, and join the dance, as said by Alan Watts. That's the dance of wave. Now the question arises, how do we really apply this? I invite you to think back to a time you were stuck in a negative pattern. Maybe you felt uncreative, or down, or anxious, angry. That was you, solidified in a particle state tuned to a low frequency channel. Now the way out is to consciously shift your vibration, not by forcing positivity, but by embracing the fluidity of the now. Just like noticing anything around you that can bring you back in the present moment. You anchor yourself through your senses. In that simple act of presence, you interrupt the old loop, the patterns that are stuck, the channel that you want to tune out of. You empty the cup of your old self just a little and make room for a new experience. You allow a new parallel reality, one of more peace, creativity, or connection to collapse into your experience. Remember, You are not a static being. You are a process. You are a verb, not a noun. And your reality is a co creation. A dance between the infinite waves of potential and the conscious awareness that you are. The goal is not to abandon the particle reality. We need it to function. The goal is to hold it lightly, knowing it is just one frame pulled from an infinite film. By cultivating a fluid identity, we become less attached to the subjective objective events of our current story. We become more open to the magic, the mystery, and the limitless potential that hums just beneath the surface of what seems to be real. We live as both wave and particle, of course, the localized self having a human experience while simultaneously being non local, infinite, like consciousness that is dreaming the entire cosmos into the being. Thank you for listening to this exploration with me. The water has passed under the bridge, but the markings on the stone remains. And new water is always flowing. The question is, what new patterns will you allow it to carve? This is Aditi inviting you to embrace the uncertainties, the memories, the what ifs, and maybes, because in the end, only the now matters, and it's writing the next chapter of your life to become a memory and bring you back to a new now. I hope you enjoyed listening to this podcast and exploring the world of parallel realities. And I do believe, yes, the parallel realities exist, as I've already backed it up. How we see it in quantum physics, the wave particle duality that suggests everything exists as a probability. Wave until it's observed or measured, at which point it collapses into a definite particle localized into a specific point in space. Thank you so much once again for tuning in today with me. If this really resonated with you and it gave you an invitation, an offer to be more fluid, to embrace the now, to anchor yourself in the here, then do hit subscribe, like, and of course, feel free to comment and share with your loved ones. Until next time, signing off, exploring the world of parallel realities. Meantime,